There it is. Hey, go ahead, Edgar. Bring the folks
You
in.
know what? What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Part of the coalition community. A happy Monday. We are finally in August. Can you believe that? August.
I cannot believe it. I feel
No
like it
way.
was just like March or April. It's just zooming by.
When does
You know,
fall begin?
the older we get, the faster it
Yes.
goes.
I think
Fall
there's
already started. Fall started last
52
week.
more days.
Fall started last week. How many
As
days
far as
till
I'm
fall?
I
concerned.
think there's like 52 more days or so.
52 more days. Okay, I mean, but
You know.
Nah.
I cannot. I cannot. I
what?
am so glad to be back with you all. For those of you tuning in and joining us today, I have missed you. I missed, I think, 2 weeks maybe. I went out of town. I celebrated my birthday. And I had work to do upon my return because work waits for no one. So I have been missing you guys so very much. So excited to be back with the coalition. Welcome you guys to our regular Monday session. But the fellas, I was checking you guys out. Kudos to you. You held it down
You know,
and you had an opportunity to discuss unique issues to you all as men. And that is always, you all need space to do that, and an opportunity to do that. So I'm so glad that you had the chance. How was it without us ladies?
Boring.
yeah. You know what? We don't have the same kind of energy that y'all bring to the table. Let's
Nah,
I
be,
don't
man.
believe
be
that.
clear about
I
that.
don't believe
I'm
that. You have
boring.
no. You're right. You don't have the same energy that we have. You have your
You're
own
right.
energy, and that's
That's
the
true.
energy that's good for you in the audience or what have you.
My
So for
energy not as
those,
good as y'all's though.
whatever, it's your energy, though. It is what it is.
You
So,
know,
for those of you that don't know who we are, let's introduce ourselves because and then we have a guest that we want to introduce and give you guys some information. She's gonna come back at the end as well to wrap up. But let Edgar, you the man, you the producer. Go ahead,
uh,
tell the people who you are.
all right. You know what? I appreciate that. I like that new nickname. My name is Edgar, the producer Palacios. I run the Latinx Education Collaborative. Our organization works on increasing the representation of Latinx education professionals in K-12. We are all about elevating that Latinx voice in our communities and our spaces, and making sure that we are in community and being collaborative with our brother and sister organizations out there doing the work in teacher diversity. So.
All right, Cornell, tell the good people who you are, what you represent, how you
What's up,
changing the
y'all?
world.
My name is Cornell Ellis. I'm the executive director, co-founder of Brothers Liberating Our Communities. It's an organization aimed at sustaining and retaining Black men in education. We're just out here trying to increase the representation of Black males inside of schools, trying to keep them there longer than the 1 to 3 years in their national average. And we know what kind of achievement that has on kids, what kind of impact that has on kids. I'm just out here trying to create space for people of color to be able to feel safe and be able to have conversations and be able to have conversations geared toward justice. So that's what I'm here for. Good to see y'all.
Awesome. Let you better tell it. But you do something else in the Kansas City area. And I know that, Brothers Liberating Our Communities is the main thing. That's how you became a part of the coalition. But I think it's equally important for you to share the other part of your life and how you are impacting the Kansas City community. So please share
Sure.
about that as well.
I'm the director of partnerships at Canby's Markets. So Canby's Markets is an organization aimed at eradicating food deserts inside of the
Mhm.
Kansas City area by putting fresh fruits and vegetables inside of gas stations and corner stores. So we're at up to 29 convenience stores and gas stations around the Kansas City area that you can pop into on your way home. All of these places are considered to be a food desert, right? We actually prefer the term food apartheid because deserts happen naturally. Food apartheid does not, right? We know that this is systems of years of racial oppression and marginalization and housing divisions that have created these inequitable, opportune situations for people to be able to have access to healthy, nutritious foods. So we just opened up a new store today. Today was a really great day up on 4300
Awesome.
Indiana. Yeah, you can pop up to the corner store, get everything you need on the way home. You don't have to worry about access to the grocery store or driving around. your grandmother to be able to get her what she needs, you know?
So fresh fruits and vegetables in food deserts of the city.
Yeah.
That is awesome because what people don't understand is not only lack of income, but access to appropriate transportation, the quality of the fruits and vegetables at stores in the urban core on the east side of Truce in Black and brown communities. That is an issue. So the fact that Canby's and you are making it happen through your role as a director of partnerships is amazing. We thank you for that. We know that what we put into our bodies has an impact on what comes out, our energy levels, how we think, and it impacts our children in the educational process. So it's directly linked and related to your passion for making sure our kids' intellectual abilities as well as their physical well-being is taken care of.
Yeah.
So
Katina, I can't tell you how many times I would teach 8th period and ask my kids to do some kind of mental feat and they hadn't eaten all day.
All day. Yeah.
And that was the blow up point moment to me, where it's like, how can we talk about kids and achievement and them getting to be their best selves when they can't think? They don't have fuel in the tank, you know?
Man,
so
it's crazy.
That's what led me to this wraparound position. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's adjacent.
I love it. And we see Chef Shanita has joined us. She said, and Canby's does not price gouge. That is right. They are in a store right near my house on 55th and Truce. Or 59th, actually, the little gas station right there.
Yep.
I've jumped in there before, saw some amazing looking fruit. I knew the sign, you know, and so I was like, oh yeah, I gotta grab something. I gotta support for sure. Absolutely. Brian, thank you so much. What's up, fam? Erica's gonna be joining us soon, but you can hang with us until she get here. So for those of you that don't know me, and make sure you guys share out this broadcast, invite people in, especially today when we tell you what the topic is gonna be. But for those of you that don't know me, I am Katina Taylor with Elements of Education Kansas City. Our goal is to support, inspire, connect, and just love on Black women in the field of education. My co-founder is Erica Gibbs. She's in a meeting. She will jump on and join us later. But our passion, I have been and continue to be an educator in many ways. All that I do, really, I am a teacher. And so it made sense as a Black woman when I realized where the educational system was not supporting us, when I heard those water cooler conversations, those lounge conversations, that we needed an organization to support us and the way in which we deal with each other and how we deal with others. And so that is why Erica and I took on the challenge of building an organization to support the amazing Black women that serve in the field of education. So that's who I am. And we have an amazing, amazing guest with us today. She is bomb. In her young years, she has faced many adversities, but she has triumphed over every single one. She don't look like what she's been through. I don't know if I could have survived some of the things that she has gone through. Story is important. And so in hearing her story, I understood her strength, her resiliency, her grit, her love, her compassion, her creativity. She made me look bad, y'all. She did a PowerPoint and I had to do one at the same time. Yeah, hers was the bomb and mine was horrible. So she's artistic. She is a blooming flower. And if you do not know her, now is the time for her to introduce herself to you and tell you about an event she has coming up before we jump into our topic for the day. So without further ado, Miss AshleyMarie Marie, tell the people who you are, the name of your organization, and what you are here to share with us.
Thank you so much. So as she stated, my name is AshleyMarie Marie. I am a vision coach here in Kansas City, and I help people attract, achieve, and be who they are called to be. This year, I am thinking about how to support educators in my vision coaching business, and that has created an exclusive opportunity for educators. I'm calling it Vision Mapping for Educators. And this is an event for educators who value creativity and also value strategic planning. It's important because personal and professional reflection and a personal and professional inventory is essential when you're navigating education in general, but I think more so essential as we're navigating education during and after a pandemic. So this vision mapping is for educators exclusively. You will end up with a vision board that's going to help you to cultivate what it is that you're trying to bring into your classroom. So if you're an educator who values, again, creativity, but also understands the importance of strategic planning and then wants to leave with a visual that you can reference throughout the rest of the school year, this is an opportunity for you. So that's what I got going on right now.
All right.
AshleyMarie, when is it? So
It is,
I'm gonna put the graphic up, but I don't know when this is, when it's gonna happen, what it's gonna look like.
It is Saturday, August 8th from 1:30 to 4:30. It is an in-person event at Firebrand Collective. There is a registration fee of $50, but I'm going to create a code for individuals who come specifically from the Latinx Collaborative and the Coalition. So I will provide a discount for anybody who comes from
like
this particular audience.
Yes, we love it. Ashley, so you said that how many spots do you have open? Because I know your registration has been going well. How many? Just 7 left?
Mm-hmm.
7. Y'all see this? 7 spots. Only. So if you know any men, any women, any administrators, teachers, anybody that works in the education space that needs to do some of their own work because they're always doing work for other people, this is an opportunity. Again, it is this Saturday. It is at the Firebrand Collective. That's the venue. It is a visioning event. It's so much more than that when you work with AshleyMarie Marie. So just understand that it is. And if you are listening to us today, y'all hear the sound of my voice, right? She has just said that if you mention that you saw this advertised, promoted via the coalition's session today, she has a discount code. So Ashley, can you, when you log off, when you come off the stream, if you can put into the live comments what that code is and then post the flyer and the link to register, then that would be great for all of those that are tuning in. Then you're going to come back at the end because there'll be people that will join us as we go. So we want to make sure that you have all the exposure and the opportunity to fill those 7 slots. I want it to be capacity. I want to be a wait list, all that, right? So
it's so important that we take time for ourselves and take time to plan out what we want for our own lives.
Yes,
right?
yes.
You say, I think as teachers, we get so caught up with everybody else and what everybody else needs, but we're not thinking about where we headed, where our next steps are.
That's it. And why we want what we want and how we gonna get there. Yeah, all of that good stuff. So thank you so much for joining us. We will see you back toward the end of the broadcast. If you want to stay on, you can. You know, whatever is
watching.
Okay, yes.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. So on to our topic for the day. Y'all,
Before we go to our topic, I want to quickly say hi to Jonna. Jonna, what's up? Good to see you.
Hey, Jonna, Raleigh.
Brian, you know we are.
we try, Brian.
I see no lie. Anyways, go ahead.
Oh, look what Jonna said in the chat. She said, y'all, people that's listening, y'all better understand and take advantage of this amazing opportunity. AshleyMarie is the truth. And she is, y'all. She is. I'm telling you. She has been gifted in ways that I can't God said, nope, I ain't giving that to you, Katina.
And if Jonna vouch for her, you know she the real deal.
That's it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we do want to move on. And Edgar.
Yes.
So you're hosting. Can I share my screen or no?
No, I don't think we've ever tried that, but let me see.
I'm gonna see if I can share it, y'all, because I want to show y'all a video.
Yeah, you can send me the link to the video and I can share it.
It's on Facebook.
Let me sneak on Facebook to see what's going on.
I'm gonna tag you in it right now. I forgot. Yeah, I'm tagging you in it right now.
What's our topic, Katina?
So we are going to be talking about, I'm sorry, y'all. So I just tagged Edgar in the video because I want you all to see this very, very short video. Over the weekend, a video came through. I was tagged in it. And lo and behold, it was my cousin who lives in Texas, an amazing woman who has boys. And thank you, Chef. She said, yeah, you can change the option for share screen. We're going to learn how to do that. And so in the video, she talked about the level of anxiety that she was facing as a parent because she was trying to make the best decision for her children as it relates to, do they return back to school or does she do virtual learning? And so, I mean, she tagged me in this video. That was my family, so it's personal to me. But if I might say, and Chef Shanita is here as well, Chef Shanita reached out and said, Katina, we got to talk because I got to make some decisions about this upcoming school year. My amazing friend Malika, she said, Katina, we need to talk because I know that I'm not sending my daughter back. There are people, there's a whole group that Jamisha Wade facilitates called Reflective Parenting. And it's specifically for parents in light of COVID and the social unrest and everything else we're dealing with. They are just needing a space and a place to talk about how they are feeling and what they're experiencing and the level of anxiety that they are being faced with because this whole school thing. So we have to talk about it. So initially, I was like, okay, so we got to have a conversation about who is in power here. And power is extremely important to talk about as it relates to this particular topic because we keep, as parents, what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing is we are making decisions as if we are just the bystanders or the babysitters in the lives of our children. No, we are not. We are in control. We make the decisions and we have to stop acting like we're just on the sidelines watching. And so first, Ed, are you ready? You tell me when you're ready.
I still haven't been tagged on the screen, so maybe it might be a private issue.
Oh, maybe. Well, it's still up. I wonder if I can do it.
Yes, we can share the screen, but I think it depends on who the host is, if I'm not mistaken.
Once I push share screen, then add it to the broadcast. Okay, let's see what we're going to do, y'all. Oh, look, I did something. I don't know what I did, but there we go. Oh, there we go. Application, Chrome tab. I want that. I'm sharing the audio.
Is it working? Wow.
I think we got it. Do we have it?
I don't see anything.
Here we go.
See you guys. Oh, there it goes.
Here we go. Here we go.
All right, y'all. So full transparency. I'm sitting here trying to hold back these tears, frustrated with being forced to send my kids back to school or to do online learning. If I send them to school, I'm going to put their health at risk or put the risk of my elderly grandmother who lives in my home at risk because what if they bring something back to her? But on the other side of it, if they do the online learning option, they have to still get their work done between 7 and 3, basically, and they should expect to be logged on for 4 hours a day. Like, I got 3 boys that would each need to be logged on for 4 hours a day. How the heck am I supposed to get Christopher to be logged on and pay attention for 4 hours to kindergarten lessons? Like, seriously?
All right, y'all. Okay, I said stop share. Am I stop?
No, you're back. Yeah, you're good.
I'm good. I'm back. Hey, we got it. So that's my cousin. She lives in Texas. 3 boys. One named Christopher. My son is also named Christopher. Kindergartner. 4 hours a day. Virtual learning. And she has a senior, and then she has one in the middle. So these boys are across the spectrum. The spectrum as in ages is what I'm saying, and things like that. Yeah.
So all 3 schools are going to be doing something different.
Exactly. And then my aunt, her grandmother, who's in, I think Aunt Bobby now is probably late 70s, early 80s, lives with her, still gets around good, all of that good stuff. But still, you send the kids to school, they may or may not expose her to COVID. This is a level of anxiety that many of our parents are facing. What do I do? Yeah. But that's a binary decision. And we know that binary decisions and choices are centered in what?
White supremacy.
White supremacist culture.
We should make that a call and response.
Right? We should always, y'all know we're going to bring it up, right? So here's the thing. Who is creating the decisions or the choices that we make? We are looking at it binary because that's what people, the system, the institutions are telling us that those are the only choices we have. And after I watch that and I start thinking about it, those are not the only choices we have. Every single family has the ability to own and the choices and decisions they have that's going to work best for their family. So I thought it was imperative that we have this conversation to say to our families, our parents, our moms, our dads, our grandparents, our foster parents, adult caregivers that are responsible for school-age children, to say, you are in control. It is your choice, and no one gets to tell you what to do with your children. Just like that. We have to deprogram ourselves. We are so programmed, sorry to say it, to allow white people, white systems, Eurocentric systems built on white supremacist culture, telling us what we can or cannot do. This morning when we talked about this, it dawned in my mind that we're still operating from a slave owner mentality. Yes, sir, master. Those are the only choices I have, school or virtual learning. Yes, sir. I'm going to pick one, sir.
Well, see, I'm going to push back, Katina.
Push back.
You presented it as if it was an option.
There isn't really.
What is the option? What is
I pick between one or the other. Some people don't even get an option.
Well, we also know this is like a teacher tactic. This is like a teacher tactic too, right? Where you give kids the illusion of choice, right? Where you're actually trying to manipulate and control the situation, where both choices are going to end up with what you want or what the ultimate goal is. But you give the illusion of choice here, where, hey, you can either get sick and not get education, or you can go to school and not get education. Which one would you prefer? Right. And we all know what the end goal is, right? To me, it's pretty clear that the goal isn't to educate Black and brown children. Sending kids back to school, in my opinion, is genocide. I've been saying that for weeks now. And I use the word genocide not lightly. I think it's very intentional when we think about what struggles our kids and our society and our communities are facing, and the fact that we completely disregard that struggle of that marginalized group and send them back to a school environment that we know is at risk for them. When we also know that their counterparts in rural communities aren't going to be faced with those same issues.
Or they may be, but they don't see themselves as connected to those of us that are in urban areas. And therefore, they won't stand alongside of us when we bring up and raise these issues.
That's the real problem, right? It's the illusion of separation.
Yes.
We actually aren't having that big of a difference.
Yeah. Shanita said, she said, white males, people who don't have digital issues in multi-age families. And what I assume you were saying, Chef Shanita, is simply that those are the people making the rules, and they're doing it through their lens and not the lens of the people they're making the rules for. Right. And that's why the onus is on us to stand up and say, no. And you can do that. I'm giving you permission today. And I know you say, well, so who are you, Katina? I'm your conscious talking. I'm Eve. I'm the mother of the earth. Just like the rest of Black women, right?
You know what I'm saying is true. You're gonna wait for me to be validated by a system that doesn't have your best interests at heart, like we were saying earlier.
Like the system does not exist without our participation. So when
Right.
we make a stand and say we no longer choose to participate, we are walking and operating in our power. Jonna says, thank you, Martin. Jonna says, meanwhile, affluent families are in full-fledged organizing mode, creating learning pods, doing what works best for them. Well, Jonna, I'm going to tell you this. So are suburban Black families. So are affluent Black families. How do I know?
So should we.
Because I got an email from one of those people saying, hey, Katina, we need a teacher for our kids. These are our ages. This is what we need. And can you find me somebody? So immediately I sent out to the Elements of Education Network, the Block Network. I hope I included the Latinx Education Network and said, look, this is what our parents are doing. And we should have been doing it. We've always educated our kids and we do it well. So don't tell me that we don't have the capability. And I understand that the educators then will say, but what about us? Because we have to survive too. And I get that. But I cannot, in good conscience, say in order to take care of the adults that the children be sacrificed. Now, I understand that this is complicated. I understand it's complex and that what works for one family won't work for another, but we want you to know you have options. And that's why we're having this conversation today.
And we want you to know that there are resources too. You're looking at resources here and 3 people that are able to and willing to talk it out with you about what those options and alternatives look like too.
And Miss Neville, she said, and she's an administrator in the district, and not in KCPS, but a different district. And she says, meanwhile, my granny said, forget it and open a one-room schoolhouse for the family. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm
talking about. That's where we learn to read. That's where Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, George Washington Carver. Edgar, you tell me some of the brown people. But that's where we got it. In the one-room schoolhouse, in our living rooms, bedrooms, basements, church house. So don't tell me we can't do it today. Ashley went on ahead. She did put the link in, you guys. It includes a 10% discount on the Vision Mapping for Educators event that's coming up on Saturday. So if you want to go, you're an educator, or I'm going to say you're an education professional. So that does not mean you necessarily have to be in the classroom, but you work in the education space. This is it. This is for you. And she's going to come back on and talk a little bit more about it.
Well, you know what? This could also be for some of our parents that are looking to provide an education for their students. To have
because they have downshifted. They're educators.
If you have a vision for what you want your school year to look like or what you want your kids' education to look like, this can be an event for you, right? Where you need to take some time to really sit down and map that out and then be able to be partnered and connected with the resources that can help you make that dream come true.
Absolutely. Thank you. You said that's so nice. Is Cecilia in the backstage?
I think she's on the wrong link.
Uh-oh. Let me text her. Can you text her and tell her?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right. So look, we got the producer doing everything, y'all. So Tony says, awesome. Thank you for the insight. As a person with a disability, getting my education was a fight. Thank you for the advocacy. No, thank you for staying and remaining and speaking out and keeping all students, all people at the forefront of our minds as well. So thank you for your comments. I really appreciate it. We do need to evolve, period, point blank. Boop. Enough said. Yes. Hey, there's beautiful girl, woman.
Oh my God.
Queen.
She's glowing. Look at her.
She is, right? Hey, Cecilia, can you hear us?
I can. Hey, y'all.
Well, you guys.
I'm live on these Missouri highways, these back highways.
Yes. So Cecilia is normally with us for the coalition on Mondays, you all, but she is traveling the highways and the byways because we have an election tomorrow. We're going to put a pin in our conversation and come back to it because we want her to be safe. She took a moment to pull over, get out of the car, find some Wi-Fi, whatever she needed to do so she could talk to us about August 4th, Election Day. Go ahead, Cecilia.
Where are you currently, Cecilia? Just for context, I want to know where you're at.
Drop your location just in case.
Hilarious. I'm right outside Columbia, but I have been in Southeast Missouri. I've been in St. Louis today and all the way up back coming home.
I
Wow.
graduated from Cape Central High School, so I
You were
pray.
in Cape Girardeau?
Oh yeah, 4 years. That's why I'm so quiet sometimes.
Look, I did not know.
Yeah. Anyways,
I did not know.
we'll talk about that trauma later.
Yeah. Like, ooh.
So tell us what's on the ballot tomorrow that we should be focused on.
There's so many things on the ballot tomorrow. So, for folks who are engaging for the first time, or maybe re-engaging, or some of us who are seasoned voters, this is the primary. So, this is the primary ballot for elections that are coming up in November. And so, for this ballot, you have to choose between a Republican or a Democratic ballot in order to vote for who you want to vote for. So, this is a very partisan ballot.
Yeah.
The only thing that is nonpartisan on this ballot is yes on two, which is Medicaid expansion in our state. And so I'm advocating, and all of us on this call, the coalition, have endorsed yes on two. This will be beneficial for our families. It will be beneficial for our students. It will be beneficial for our community members. 37 other states have already expanded Medicaid. In the United States, Oklahoma just expanded a couple of weeks ago by the skin of their chinny chin chin. I think it was like 50.8%.
Wow.
And there is a history to the states who have not expanded. Missouri has had the ability to expand, as all the states have, since the Affordable Care Act was moved into law in 2010. Missouri has ruggedly held, our elected officials down in Jeff City have ruggedly held that this is something that we did not need. We have found that of the other 36 states that have expanded and that are now already um, moving forth Medicaid in their state, there has been an economic boom in their state. It's brought nearly 20,000 jobs on average to each state. I think the average is like 19,400 and something. It has helped to keep rural healthcare hospitals open. We don't recognize, because they don't talk about this, that Missouri is number 2 in our nation of closing of rural hospitals. So
Hmm.
we have closed 15 rural hospitals since 2014.
Hmm.
Um, Not to mention how this affects folks in our urban core. Access to healthcare centers, not only hospitals, access to not only physical care, but mental, emotional, and psychological care. Imagine what our state may have saved if we had expanded Medicaid prior to the pandemic in March. It has cost us
Hmm.
hundreds of billions of dollars, whereas the states that have expanded Medicaid, that has not been the case. For me, even as a person who has worked on this campaign, and even with the broader messaging of the campaign, for me, Medicaid expansion is an extension of the civil rights movement. It's an extension of us being able to chip away at the historical, systemic, and structural disparities. And I don't even want to make it like far away and say disparities. I want to say injustices, the health injustices that have been done to African American and Latinx communities for decades. This is a way to be able to chip at that. Medicaid turned 55 on July 30th, so just last Thursday, Medicaid had a birthday. And Medicaid was intended to be a safety net in our country for people who did not have health care or who could not afford health care. There was no judgment on it, there was no partisanship on it, there were none of those things. It was intended to be a social safety net for people who cannot afford health care. And while many of
So,
us go
Cecilia,
ahead,
can I interrupt you for a quick
sure,
second and ask this
sure,
question? Because there's oftentimes propaganda rhetoric put out that the people that need Medicaid are lazy, folks that don't want to work, want to live off the system.
yes.
Who have you
Myth.
found that would benefit most from Medicaid expansion?
And then I'm gonna like highlight you and give you an attaboy whoop whoop about being in that Kansas City Star article last week. But I have found that 75% of the people that will be expanded into Medicaid have at least one full-time working member in their family, right?
Hmm.
So this myth that this is an extension of welfare, these are people that are laying around and are not trying to engage in our system is just that it's a myth and it's a lie. It is not misinformation, you all. It's disinformation. It is the lie that our opposition will tell about this. It's the lie that conservative members who judge people and who they deem to be deserving will say. Again, 74.2% of the people that will be expanded into Medicaid have at least one full-time working member in their family. So the folks who will most benefit is people who work in the service industry, fast food workers. It is people that are custodial staff. It is CNAs, so certified nursing assistants. It's people who take care of our elderly, and consequently, it's daycare workers. It's people who take care of our children, our early childhood children.
Those essential workers. Can we put up a comment real quick? Chef Shanita says, my child is chronically ill and I am self-employed. Without her Medicaid, I wouldn't be able to afford her monthly $500, I'm assuming, prescriptions. Yeah. That's ridiculous in and of itself. That's a whole nother conversation. The legalized dope dealers, but that's a whole nother conversation. But that's really what I was getting to, is that Chef Shanita is an entrepreneur. Those of you that know her well. She is hardworking, and she is a parent of a chronically ill child. Obamacare, or the Affordable Care Act, excuse me, I thought, because I'm also an entrepreneur, I am an empty nester. When they passed the Affordable Care Act, I thought, great, because I had left a full-time position to start my own business. And I thought I can then go get some affordable, because it was Affordable Care Act, insurance, so that I wouldn't be underinsured or uninsured. It still priced me out. But because of my income as an entrepreneur, I still didn't qualify for Medicaid. So I am Katinda Taylor, that you join every week for the coalition. I am one of those people that will benefit from expanded Medicaid. And I don't have a problem saying that. Because I know I work hard. I've worked since I was 15 years old. I've paid into the system. But entrepreneurs like me, Black women who are starting businesses more rapidly than any other demographic, we are the ones that are falling through the cracks. And if you know anything about an entrepreneur, you know we work hard. You know? So people like Chef Shanita, people like myself, I care for my grandkids, all of those things. That these are the people. It is not lazy people that don't want to work and I'm just looking for a handout. That's not what it's about.
There's actually the people that are carrying this American dream forward, right? These entrepreneurs, these creative people, these artists, these people that are thinking outside the box are the ones that need the protection from the federal government to continue to live, just basically live.
And here's another one. Look at this. Look at this other comment.
Right.
Tony says, I need PCA to keep my career going. If the expansion passes, I will be able to keep my job. And we already know that Tony said this is a person that has a disability. So people with disabilities also need this care, this insurance, this coverage, because we also want them to, some people with disabilities still are independent livers. They still contribute to the gross domestic product.
Can I say though, even if you are not a hardworking individual, even if you aren't contributing to society, like healthcare should be a basic human right and not a privilege.
Yes.
So I really want
to that. Absolutely.
Right. I want to push on that narrative as well, because a lot of that comes from white supremacist culture around the idea that you have to benefit, that in order for you to benefit from a system, you have to contribute to the system. And I will say that, part of the safety net that we build is for also when we may not be able to work anymore for whatever. Right. And so I just want to be clear on that it is a moral imperative versus like a capitalistic
absolutely.
idea.
And absolutely. How do you define contribute, right? What does your contribution look like, right? How are we quantifying your contribution?
And everybody on this call recognizes our contribution is quite different than white folks, our white peers' contribution, right? It is a very different, just to be here, to be present, to live with what we move forward through every day is a different contribution. So in and of that, but we're advocating that everybody vote yes on 2. It will be beneficial to our state. Also, the economic boom. I talked about that. The sustainability that happens. Our incarcerated citizens will be more cared for because that would expand them onto Medicaid, as opposed to the privatization, continued privatization of our prisons where they are not taken care of well. And so, this has implications across many different systems, not only health, criminal
Now,
justice
Cecilia, let me
system.
ask you this, because there's also information that says this is going to cost the state money that we don't have. And in time of COVID-19, we just don't have the money. But tell us why that's not true.
It's not true.
Sorry.
I mean, just because people lie, that's why it's not true. But I mean, there are aspects. Every study that's been done. There's a REMI study out. If anyone is interested in that, that's been done by Washington University in St. Louis. There are several studies. All you have to do is put in economic wellness of the states who have passed Medicaid. Actually, this has been what is considered benefit deficit neutral. It has not made taxes go up. It has not made taxes go down. Taxes in the states that have expanded Medicaid have remained neutral, and the actual economy of those states has increased triple fold.
Anytime you take care of your people, of course the economy is going to do better.
Absolutely.
If I'm more
well,
I'm going to go to work.
They're going to be able to engage in the economy, right?
I'm feeling healthy. I can go to work and make money for the economy. I can
go. George pointed out, he said, well, the money's already there anyway. And he's right.
Absolutely.
He's absolutely right.
We have already, so even though our elected officials, the legislators in Jeff City, have not chosen to expand Medicaid, it has been taking out of our taxes yearly since 2011. We have lost $1.7 billion, the low, $1.9 billion maximum every year to Medicaid expansion, to healthcare. Now, people say, well, does that just sit around? No, it does not. It goes then to the other states who have already expanded Medicaid. So we have been, our tax dollars have been going to Arkansas, have been going to Louisiana, have been going to our neighbor Indiana. And just in case people didn't know, our current vice president expanded Medicaid in his state, a Republican state, Indiana, before he became the vice president. So, that partisan stuff that we're being told that this will break us. Also, for those of us who are kind of nerds who like to follow the money, if you go and follow the money of Missouri and our budget, we are not opposed to taking federal dollars. We have $270 billion worth of federal input that we receive on an annual basis, right? And so this has always had a notion of judgment. It has always had a notion of who is deserving. We have always been taking care of that. It is a federal oversight that people don't want to adhere to. 90% of Medicaid expansion will come from the federal government. Only 10% comes from the states. And remember, this is benefit deficit neutral. It has not increased taxes. It has not decreased taxes. Taxes have remained neutral in the states that have expanded. Also, remember, of the 36 states that have expanded, that have already implemented Medicaid expansion, none of them have said this sucks, this doesn't work, we want to repeal it, because they could. They've all benefited from it, and they are all moving forward with it.
Let me ask this question. So let's talk brass tacks for tomorrow. Tomorrow is election day. We know that we are supporting Medicaid expansion. That's yes on 2. It appears on your ballot as question 2, right?
It's
an amendment
back of the ballot too. So that's another tricky thing that they do, that our Secretary of State has done. All of the elected officials that we could vote for, so all of our district primaries that we can vote for, as well as our governor primary that we can vote for, that is all on the front of the ballot. So someone might be confused thinking, oh, this ballot is done. On the back, the only thing that's on the back is yes on 2. So please.
So let's gear our people up. Let's get our people ready. So polls open at 7 a.m.
6 a.m.
6 a.m. They're open till 7 p.m.
Yes.
You know that many people voted absentee and vote by mail. Like, I've already voted. My ballot is there. But if you're going to the polls tomorrow, put on a mask, Make sure you sanitize when you go in. Distance yourself out. If you work, how many hours do they get off to go vote?
3.
3 hours. If your employer tells you that you do not have now you can go early before you go to work. You can go when you get off work. But if you need to go during the day because you have something else going on, kids, you're going to work too late, whatever it may be, you have 3 hours. That is the law. If your employer says to you that they are not going to allow you to go vote, square up, plant your feet, and say, you are in violation of the law and I will report you.
I will box you.
They cannot retaliate against you. They cannot discipline you. They can't write you. If the idiot that's the supervisor don't know, because they're going to be an idiot, okay, just tell them that.
And they can get sued.
I'll at you later.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go right now.
Absolutely. One of the things I want to highlight, I want to give Dr. Bedell a shout out on our platform. Dr. Bedell closed he made this a holiday for KCPS employees. So everything is closed tomorrow, and they are still going to allow the polling places there, but they have given their employees that are working the day off, so that even if they're distance working, as most people are still, to be able to go and vote, and for polling locations to be closed. Now, as Katina was saying, all of the polling places will be observing CDC regulations, so there will be 6 feet distance. At many of the polling places, actually in the 3rd district, all of the polling places will have masks available there in case people don't have masks, and other personal protection equipment. We have program partners that created voting kits with these types of things. This happened all over the state. I was able to do this in Kansas City and St. Louis Pacific, as well as in Southeast Missouri. And so just take care of yourselves. Have space. We're trying to make it a celebration and a party at the polling places. We're going to have water. We're going to have pizza. We are our ancestors' dreams, y'all. We are standing on shoulders of people that could not do this as early as the 1960s. And so how dare we not engage?
Not even our ancestors. We are our grandparents' dreams.
Absolutely. It's not even it's not far back. We are our grandparents' dreams, right?
Yeah.
And so
we also, hold on one second, Cecilia. We do also, thank you, Monica. You have put some great reminders in there. So your time off to go vote is unpaid. Understand that. But they do have to let you go to go do that. But also, you pointed out that a lot of the election polling locations have changed. So make sure tonight, call your friends, call your family, people you care about, put it on your social media or whatever to go to their election authority.
They don't have to, Katina. You can go to any polling site in Kansas City or Jackson County.
Shut the front door. What you say now?
Any polling site. So if I am leaving work and there's a school open up the street for me that is closer than me having to go home, or if I have something to do, all we have to have is our ID. There's new technology, new software where all you can go into any polling site and vote.
Now, is this just because of COVID?
It is because of COVID, but my hope, fingers crossed,
long term,
that this is something that we can extend it to long term. I know that this is happening this election cycle, and in November it's happening because mail is slow. So for people that are doing mail-in ballots and voter suppression, y'all, I just need to put it out there. Governor Parsons, you might get mad at me. Secretary of State Ashcroft, you might get mad at me. Republicans, you might get mad at me. But voter suppression is real, and whenever we are trying to engage in our collective power, what is the first thing they try to do? Is suppress the vote.
Yeah,
marginal laws. Yep.
We have seen it, and so you can go to any polling place in Kansas City or Jackson County.
And as long as you have a valid form of ID that is not expired, you may vote at that location.
And I think it's even expired up to a year.
Up to a year. Okay, there you go. So information I didn't have. Cecilia, thank you so much. Are you just coming back into Kansas City, or are you stopping before you make it back in?
home. I will be going around and putting signs at all the 50 polling places, helping to do that for our team. But y'all
I asked
help
for
us,
signs.
women.
I don't have no sign in my yard. I'm upset about it.
Okay, I'll bring 55th and what?
54th and Highland.
Okay, I'll make sure you get one.
And all y'all listening, don't be trying to come visit me.
Yeah, look, you put your ass up.
Bye, y'all. I'll see you next Monday.
All right, be careful. Be careful. We love you. Thank you. All right, Erica has joined us. You guys, this is what I need you on. This is my ask today. Okay, this is my ask today. If you don't do anything else this evening, can you please call 10 people? 10. I don't care if they're family, friends, or colleagues, and remind them to vote yes on 2 and that tomorrow is election day. The other ask I have of you is use your social media presence. All of us have a network. George, you're running for office. Monica, your name is Curls. AshleyMarie Marie, come on, girl, do it for us. Chef Shanita, you have an amazing following. Everybody, go out to your social media. Brian, there you are as well. I think that was, who was that? Was that Ted earlier that was on with us as well? I want to make sure I can get Tony. I'm sorry, Tony. Post on your, and Miss Neville's, on your social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Remind people to go vote, y'all. We got to get this Medicaid expansion done.
For sure.
Think about the Black and brown people that are dying because of COVID, the underlying health issues that we face. Now, some of that is our own doing. I eat too much. I know better. That's why my blood pressure is high. But there are.
Wait a second, Katina. Let me just stop. Let me push on that too.
I have privilege. I know better. I don't do better.
No, some of us live in neighborhoods where we don't have access to the types of foods that will keep us healthy.
But I'm speaking from me. I got a Whole Foods right around the corner.
Okay. Hey guys, I gotta get out at 6. Can I give a couple final thoughts though?
Yes, please. Yes.
I think that this all stems around agency, right? Like we have to, as people of color, as people that are fighting for justice, as people that live in our own communities, take agency in what we want to see happen, whether it's voting, whether it's school board meetings, whether it's our own diet and nutrition. We have to be able to look ourselves in the mirror and say, I am in control of what happens, right? And so I know you guys are about to jump back into this conversation around school openings and anxiety with parents. And I just want to echo that again, right? Like, parents are the stakeholders inside of these schools. The school can't run without your kids in the seats. And we have to start approaching these situations with that kind of confidence and with that kind of power and thinking about it from that lens. And I say that every week, but I think it may change a couple more minds once a week too, right? Because sometimes it takes a couple times to unlearn and to realize that, the funding is coming from my kid. And if I don't want to do that, then I have the right to find other options, right? And so thank you guys for having me on tonight. I got a 6 o'clock curfew, so I got to get off. But I will see everybody next Monday.
Thank you, Cornell. Your input is invaluable. We always appreciate you. So yes. I do want to say something else. So one, Brian, he said, Erica, he said he watching and twisting wrenches at the same time. So he's with us, okay? Mailed it already. You can go to any polling site in case. Okay, yes, that's great news. Yes, I mailed my ballot in already. I had to go get it notarized. If you had a mail-in ballot, you have to get it in the mail today or tomorrow. That's it. Today or tomorrow. As long as it's postmarked, you are good. You can go to any bank and they are notarizing for free. For free. Any notary that you know has to do it for free. Per the Secretary of State, they do not charge for ballot notarization, just in case you didn't know that as well. So I also am putting a link into our chat. For those of you that are interested, that are parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, adult caregivers of school-age children, if you want to start organizing around issues that impact education, the Parent Power Lab, I'm putting that in as I said. The Parent Power Lab is the organization here in Kansas City that is organizing parents. You guys, we have to take our power back. We have to. People have to understand that the dollars that are affiliated with educational institutions are controlled by you, the customer. Think of yourself in that way. The customer. So you need good customer service. You need to make sure the policies are in place to protect you and your children and the educators that service them. So all that being said, like, I ain't taking us to 6:30 today. I promise.
What do you mean?
You know, we've been going late.
So too. We got 28 minutes to go.
So I had to get off too. I just was reminded.
Oh, wow.
Look, I got a text that was like, you got another meeting tonight, right? So, but
I want to inquire as to the nature of that meeting, but that's all right.
In my other board, I'm on the board of KKFI, y'all. If y'all don't know, but is Ashley back in the backstage?
It is not, but Ashley, if you want to come join us real quick. If not, I can also just quickly put the banner up that you shared with us. So AshleyMarie Marie is doing vision mapping for educators on August 8, 2020, 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. You can register online. If you have seen this message on the coalition, feel free to, I believe she put the link in the comments.
She did. She put the link in there, and that gives you a 10%.
She's right here. She's coming in.
Yes. Let's get her. There she is. She back. Can you hear us, Ashley?
Yes.
All right. So tell us the name of your business again.
Cultivate Visions.
Yes. And what is your event coming up on Saturday?
It is vision mapping for educators, and I want to be clear that educators are individuals who share insight or inspiration of any kind. So if you are a person who is actually in the classroom or an individual who's not in the classroom, but you consider yourself an educator, you're welcome to have one of the 7 spots for Saturday.
7 spots left. 7 spots, y'all. I'm telling you, that's because people know how good she is. Where is the event happening?
Firebrand Collective, and we will be practicing social distancing.
We will be practicing social distancing. It's an in-person event, Firebrand Collective, which is a woman-owned space, right?
A woman-owned collaboration space.
Women rule the world. Y'all didn't know. I know y'all didn't know. Brian, I know you don't know. You be talking smack.
I'm going to just jump in for that one. I got a lot to say about that one.
Hey, Laura runs the... Don't you talk back now.
I know she does. I know she absolutely runs everything. That's not a lie.
If you guys have an opportunity, I will continue to push and encourage you to attend this event on Saturday. Support my girl, Cultivate Visions. You will not be the same after you spend time with AshleyMarie Marie. I guarantee you. And yes, her name is AshleyMarie Marie. Like, that's for real. So make sure you call her that. Don't just say AshleyMarie. She gonna cut you. I'm telling you. And don't just say Ashley. She gonna get you. Now I'm telling you. I hope that she will share a part of her story with you all. It's mind blowing. And that's not to continue to revisit any trauma that you've experienced, but to really exalt, lift up, and put on display the level of strength that you have been endowed with. It's unbelievable to me. I will never be like, take it for granted or minimize what you have experienced in your life and the wherewithal that you have had to go through it. And again, you don't look like what you've been through. So I know that you are a spirit on this earth, meant to enlighten, inspire, uplift, and impact the rest of us. So I thank you for being with us. We wish you great success on Saturday. You may see us, you never know. I don't know how comfortable I am yet, but you may see me. I don't know. But if I can't come, I may sponsor someone as well. So thank you. You guys, it is 6:06. We usually wrap up. Thank you, Ashley. See you later. I don't know where Erica went. I don't know where Edgar went. Y'all left me by myself. What is happening?
I'm right here in the background just listening. I thought it was important for you to have the space to talk about this. And, I leave and here we are.
Okay, so I do want to, you guys, we're going to continue this discussion around the anxiety that families are feeling about school reopenings next week. We had a lot to cover, and I know we kind of got started on that. We run our mouths. Okay, good. It's a good thing. Hey, I do have somewhere to go, Brian. Leave me alone. Tony said IEPs being addressed during COVID. To be honest, Tony, I don't know that any educational institution has really done a great job at handling IEPs during the period of COVID. I know that some have put some things in place, but it varies from school to school, district to district, staff to staff. And I think, Erica, I'm going to give it to you, Erica. You can speak to that as in what your individual school has done, or maybe what other educational institutions have done around IEPs for students. That's a great conversation for Kim as well, Edgar, when we think about it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm leaving, y'all. I love y'all.
Erica, we'll have a conversation following.
Wait, what happened to Erica? I don't know. You know what? She playing.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll just have that conversation next week.
We will.
The next edition of
the Coalition.
See y'all later.
Guess what? Should we tell them though? No, we're not gonna tell them. One time y'all gonna just log on to see us, and we're gonna have a whole intro and everything for y'all.
I mean, it's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. And if y'all like my earrings, can y'all see my earrings? Y'all see these earrings? I have to show them to y'all. A local lady, I lost the card. Dang it. Untamed Designs. That's the name of it. Untamed Designs made these. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. Y'all see those? Those are so cute. Black-owned business here in Kansas City. So I will see you all next week. Bye, Brian. Thank you. Ashley, thank you. George, thank you. Tony, thank you. Please come back next week. We're going to continue this conversation, Tony. We're going to have some answers for you. Chef Shanita, thank you. Hurston and Cynthia were not with us today. I don't know what's going on with them, but
they have lives too.
They do have lives, but I'm sorry, they got to park it on Monday. One of them got to show up. That's just the way it is. And so, Jonna, thank you so much. We need to highlight you soon as well. Thank you guys so much. If any of you know of any parents that are facing real anxiety and they would like to tell their story, how this is impacting their family or could potentially impact their family, invite them to tune in, join in, lend their voice to this conversation. We do not want to send the message that we're speaking on behalf of every family, because we know that we are not, and we don't have the answers for every family. What we do want to do is empower, uplift, support families that are in crisis due to COVID-19, social unrest, and many of the educational traumatic experiences that they are having and have had. So, Katina Taylor, Elements of Education, and my partner,
Palacios, from the Latinx Education Collaborative.
I can't believe how fast this time has gone by today.
We're almost at 6:30. I got to tell you, Katina, I
gotta go. Like, they probably cussing at me right now.
All right,
so
y'all.
Remember, I was gone 2 weeks from this. I was gone for 2 weeks from some other stuff too. So I got to jump back in there. We love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Brian, I got you. I'm a cash app you.
All right, y'all.
Bye, you guys. Have a good evening. See you soon.
Bye.